All right, motion approved the minutes. All right, now with new business, we're gonna go over the applications. First application is for Aaron. Mm-hmm. Have you followed up with that, Kyle?
What were we doing that one again? Refresh my memory. Well, was it in the,
Sandy bag. It's right in your description.
what we table it for?
Because it was too close to a blind that's supposed to be licensed, it's supposed to be there, it's licensed on the map.
Right.
And I guess you're supposed to check and see if that was legit or you.
Well, the blind's license, I think it would, if the other one was licensed, correct?
It was licensed, yeah, but
Right.
yeah, we were unsure of why he put in a blind that close to another blind unless it was, maybe it wasn't built or something. We weren't sure.
Remember what that blind license number was that was beside it? Reese Fullerton, 582.
I guess we're gonna need to pull it up.
Yeah, can you pull it up on the map?
You pull the map, Melvin.
And how far away is that?
Only 62 yards.
We contacted 582 to ask him, has he paid for last year? Yeah. Can we send out new licenses this year for him? Okay.
Yeah, plus we had the extension last year, so technically if he doesn't have it built, he's got till December 15th of this year.
I think if he doesn't send in his permit or his license to renew it, then we should issue this one. We probably just need to give it to him if he does not issue or renew his permit. His blind.
Yeah, he's got till December 15th.
Right. Is there a way we can?
Is there a way you can contact him, Melvin, and ask him what his intentions are? Yeah. Okay.
And then we can just grant this
We've
if,
never done that in the past. We've always waited until the following year. Since the extension was last year.
This is the following year. Yeah.
If gentlemen built that blind last year, in the past, we've never waited until the expiration date to give a blind license to anybody. We won't have a meeting after that, December 12th.
Yeah, but that's the rule that we passed, was till December 15th of this year from Merlot to Hatteras, so. So he's
if that existing blind was active last year and you've sent out the application for the gentleman to renew that blind, I don't see how we can, certainly without contacting the gentleman that has the blind now, but I don't think we've ever done that in the past. So I don't see how we have to wait until this, if it's.
so basically for next year.
Correct.
Now, can we, if it's not renewed or if it's not built by the 15th, can we hold this over until next year?
In the past, we've always made them submit another for next year, have to submit another application. And as long as he gets it in early and he's the first, then I have no problem with that.
But what about Payne though?
I don't see why we would have to ask, we could give him his money
Okay.
this year. Is
Okay.
the way I would suggest.
Okay.
And
Right.
let him submit another application next year.
Okay. That's probably what we need to do. We'll just, I'll contact Aaron and let him know that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
And tell him just to submit another one. We'll hold the money until next year.
okay.
And if the bond is not built by the 15th or the guy doesn't send his stuff in, then next year he would be eligible.
Exactly, first in line, so to speak.
Okay.
Got the opportunity to find a spot 500 yards away.
Right. And, but please set it in your memory bank to check that at the expiration date to see if it's been built or not.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. All right. The next application is for Madeline Joy Toller. Can you bring it up on the map, Melvin?
Wood duck spot.
It's like a good spot.
It's definitely not right.
Hold up, wait a minute. 43185, that looks right. 49785, that looks right. No, I think you.
I don't know what,
You ain't got a minus in front of yours.
yeah, I got a minus. I don't think so.
Maybe it is.
Oh, there we go.
That looks a little better.
Yeah, that's out in the whole area.
That's not right either. That ain't the right place.
Okay, that's in the hall area, Melvin.
That's not the right place where you pulled it up when I was in the office. It's down there at the south end of Wanchese. Oh, is there two? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's in the hall area, Melvin.
Which one is it?
That's the south of Gold Shoal, right here. You see the whole line that goes on out. Do you have a motion? Yeah, see it? That's one of the main hall area.
Um,
Yeah,
Motion to life is in the hall area.
all right, we can make a motion. You gonna make a motion?
Just did.
Okay, yeah, Drew seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, application denied for being in a hall area. All right, the next application is for Madeline Joy Toller again.
just check between that green one and that yellow one. Please.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
All right, Bowens makes a motion to approve it. Do I hear a
Second.
Second, Buddy Shelton seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion's approved. All right, the next application is for John L. Booth Jr.
is not being licensed in a couple of years.
And that green dot is an existing blind as it stands?
I don't know if there's anything there or not. That is
That's where it used to be.
where it used to be.
How far is it from the bridge?
And there's another blind right there north of it.
That's, Parrish's. I think, I don't know what's going on.
It's almost Paris's.
That's Sonny Albardi's.
Yeah, it was Paris's.
Yeah, but, Parrish's is that one in that creek. He's still got that.
This one,
Nope, go down. Right there.
that's the one that.
That's the one Johnny renewed.
Well, it's still valid evidently. So, I think,
He has it.
oh, okay, well,
So he didn't renew it last year? Oh, okay.
No agreement with the Park Service at all?
How far away is he from the other? Just
Johnny and Parrish are father and son, right?
Yeah.
Well, if he didn't renew it, it's wide open.
He's gotta move it a
Okay.
little bit.
Yeah.
What are the coordinates on here? Is
Where
where
it's
does that
in
put
yard.
it? At the exact
Yeah.
location of the
A
old?
little too close.
Yeah, it's too close. What about, do we have any, distance from these
Applied for
roads?
both of those.
How far is the other one from it?
It's less than 500.
Both of them?
This one is less than 500 from this one.
Right,
It's like 479, wasn't it?
yeah.
21 yards. He ought to be able to move it.
Is, how far is he from the one on that little island to the one on the other side of the bridge? Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Hmm.
Oh. And whose is that one up there?
I think it's Sapper.
Yeah, that's Anna's.
And that's probably been grandfathered from years
Yeah.
past?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine until one of those is given up, but we can't renew this old blind. He lost his ability to be grandfathered when he gave up the blind, and so now he has to be 500 yards.
Can you put that on there again, Mel, for the distance again? The other one.
They got moving that one too.
Yeah.
He just got moved.
He's going to move, I mean,
He moves to that point or something, he'll make it. Going over to that point just south and
It's
east.
probably a better spot anyway.
Got moved 27 yards. Yeah,
That'll
he'll
do
make
it.
it there.
Anywhere in between, we're just gonna have to have him move it a little bit.
Yeah.
How about from out to the, well, it ought to be plenty far, right?
Now, how
Yeah.
close to the beach can they get? I mean, where's the line there?
That's what I was asking, if there's any agreement with the Park Service.
I think as long as he's off the shoreline.
Yeah. And I don't guess we have any
He's-
agreement from that highway anymore that's new since these other lines are there. I'm just asking. I don't know of any.
yeah.
Had to be 150 yards, I think, what we
Okay.
have always said.
Yeah. He's-
We're gonna have to deny, I would see that we would have to deny this location and he would come up with more coordinates and move it past 500 yards. You know, he lost his reward of grandfathership when he gave up the blind.
What if we told him that if he moved it to a designated spot and give him that spot, give him the coordinates? And if he agrees to it, we could go ahead and just kind of leave it up to Bo and I. That way we just don't delay it to the next meeting.
Right, I mean, someone's gonna have to go out there and you know, oversee this before he builds it, because then we're into a big conundrum with getting him to move it again, so someone's gonna have to go out there with him, and we can come up with some coordinates, I would imagine you can, well, probably can't shoot a distance there, because the road's in the way.
We can go on the site here and find himself.
I don't like the idea. That's not our job,
It's
is
not
to
our
go
job to
inside.
find
I don't mind
inside.
if Bo goes with him and and we approve Bo to give it,
You
but
know him pretty well, Bo?
not to
No.
pull it up here on the site.
I'm saying he can do it himself.
Yeah.
Well, the way to do it truly is to go to that blind and click a waypoint and then go until we're 500 yards away. And but it's not, and he's gonna have to do that. It's not our job to give him coordinates and find the blind for him, in my opinion.
Yeah, but we give other people blinds when they just had to move a few yards.
Right, we tell them to move a few
Give them
yards.
the direction with the approval. You gotta get 500 yards.
Yeah.
Right.
If
There's
not,
no need, I mean, if we're gonna give it to him or not give it to him, but there's no need to hold him up another month,
I don't have a problem with.
20 yards,
I don't.
Well, how far was it, Melvin, from?
20 yards.
27 yards.
20,
The,
21.
well, the other one was closer, I believe, wasn't
Yes, yes, I'm pretty
it?
sure.
The other one was quite a bit closer,
That one to the north was closer.
418 or something.
380.
Can
do
you
that
click on that again,
measurement-
Melvin?
Do that measurement again?
The man was blind to that one of John, or where Johnny wants.
From that one to the, yeah, so 449.
So that was 50
Yeah, but
yards.
the other one don't make it either.
drag it
Got to
on
move
down
the other
till you
one
get
to move that
500,
one.
See if it's still in the ditch.
That's
Right, but
grandfather.
that one doesn't make it, but he's grandfather, okay, he didn't give up the blind. And, Mr. Booth gave up this
He
blind.
did, he don't have either blind.
Right.
That's a whole different blind. That's,
I understand, but those blinds are grandfathered because they're closer than 500 yards.
yes.
Mr. Booth no longer has that right because he gave up this blind to the south. So he needs to move that blind 50 yards to the south and east, or to the south and west to get 500 yards from that blind to the north. Correct.
Either blind, Reg?
Yes, sir. I can do that. Tony Albardi's the
Yeah.
one on the east side of the bridge. West side. East. West.
Do any of y'all know him real well, or?
So neither one can be where they're at, correct? Neither one can be where they're at, where they're located, where she's got dots at.
Is he applying for both those locations?
Yes.
Correct. Then
Wait-
that is
wait a
correct.
minute.
He was gonna have to move the one to the north, to the east, down that canal, or that little body of water, since, so I was unaware that he was applying for both those
Yeah, I
locations.
see that now.
Okay.
That
So,
one on the west side, he ain't got no leeway to move there.
Time out. The one on the west side, that is Sonny's blind, correct? Or y'all are aware of what happened, right? I mean, that's,
How is he in relationship? I don't know. What's his relationship with Johnny?
none. No.
and we sent did we send an application out this year for that blind west of the highway?
Did Sonny lose his blind? Okay, all right. I'm gonna step in and make a motion that that blind of Sonny's remains Sonny's. Cause that's a terrible situation. I think his father should have the last say so in that.
Great idea.
I firmly believe that. The family's been through
I'll
enough.
second
I
that
agree with
motion.
that.
This got nothing to do with Mr. Booth.
Right.
This is the Albardi family. And I hope y'all all agree on that.
So,
I'll make a motion to accept that.
I second it.
That blind west of Oregon Inlet Bridge is
Yeah.
still Sonny Albardi's blind.
okay.
It is current and up to date. Whatever needs to be done,
Is that the,
I don't care on
is
that.
that the fellow passed away?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, he was a 16-year-old boy.
yeah.
Terrible
Oh, Lord.
situation. Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement there.
We're all in agreement there.
So,
So he got to come up with 2 new blind applications.
That's
'cause
what
he
I'm
don't fit
saying.
nowhere.
Neither one of these blind applications work.
500 yards on that blind.
Right, and his argument's gonna be that those are existing blind sites, but he lost he now has to be 500 yards, a full 500 yards.
yeah, he's going to move that one to the south, to the southeast, at least 50 yards, and
Right.
the other one, how many?
88 yards.
So if you wanna go out there and you can go out there with him and tell him that, or we can have him reapply with the same funds that he applied
They didn't
previously.
get his own coordinates. But I hate to delay him a month.
What'd you say, Phil?
I said, I hate to delay him a month, but he needs to come up with new coordinates or I don't know if we could.
But we recommend him some coordinates and just tell him this is where it's gonna work. Anything
You
inside
open up
of
a
this.
can of worms.
If you want to do that, I don't want to do that as a group. If you want to do that,
Man.
I'm okay with that.
No, sir.
Yeah, you open up a can of worms. You ain't got no choice but to deny it.
Yeah.
We
I
don't
mean,
meet but once a month. That's
I'll
the
make the
sad
motion, we
part.
deny the application,
both applications.
both applications.
Okay.
I make the motion, we deny both applications, and he needs to move both of those blinds to be 500 yards or more from the existing blind west of the aisle.
Okay, so Drew makes a motion to deny both applications for John Booth. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Both Meekin seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Both applications are denied until he gets new coordinates.
That's all we can do.
All right, the next application is for Carl Payne.
This one right here is Carl Payne's. He's applying for this yellow one right here.
And Carl does not want to move this blind. He wants another blind.
He wants a second.
The second one,
How far is that from his other blind?
150.
500 yards.
We did away with that, didn't we?
It says, it
Yeah.
says right on here,
150.
150 yards west,
Yeah.
southwest of my current blind.
Didn't we do away with that?
Right, we
Yeah.
ain't doing that.
Yeah.
500 yards.
We don't allow.
Unless he wants to do away with the previous one.
Right.
I thought he was just trying to move over, get on the show.
Where's that at, Bo? Is that on the cap?
Yeah, it's the, what's that big slough that runs in back of the cat? The Matthew?
Matthew Slough.
Matthew. The Matthew Slough is just north of that. But,
I make a
unless
motion to deny.
it's, we gotta deny it unless he wants to move his blind. Out there, the depth changes a lot from year to year. He might be wanting to just move the coordinates. of his
sounds like
blind,
to me.
And he might have just done it the wrong way. But we gotta deny this, and if he wants to move it,
I know it's getting late, but I think we probably should table this until we find out if he's gonna move to get to another shoal or if he's actually trying to put in a second blind.
Was there a letter written that he was gonna move?
He's
or
got till
anything,
November
or
1st
Is he just
anyway.
applying for a new blind?
He's got till November 1st, so
Yeah. I mean,
as long as he
He's not wrote a letter that states that he wants to cancel one to move it, you know.
I wonder if that one's not the one that showed the green dot. I wonder if that's not there, maybe. For some reason, he just wants to put this back.
that's his blind.
that's what we need to
I
find
mean,
out.
I know, but I wonder if it blowed down last year and now he's reapplying for 150 yards separate. Probably don't know until we talk to him, so.
Yeah, we gotta have some clarification on it.
Let's table this one.
Bo, it's next to your, it's right next to your blind.
It's there. It
It's
was last year.
It was.
I mean, it was.
Well,
I find it hard to believe that he would want to blind 150 from what he is. I think the depth changes out there because it's just sandy bottom. There's nothing holding it together. And he might have had a drastic depth change that he wants to get away from. That's the only thing I can think of.
You know, Carl?
I do.
Good.
I do.
Could you-
I can hash this out.
Let's table this, and, well, there's a motion on the floor to deny this application.
Are you gonna make the motion,
Wait
Bill?
another
No,
month.
there's already one on the floor.
Okay, who made the motion?
You go, okay.
I made the motion table it till we find out more.
All right, Bo Meekins makes a motion to table it to the next meeting. Do we hear a second?
I second it.
Drew Horn seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion's approved. So you're gonna follow up with him, Bo?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Good, good.
All right, next application is for Daniel, can't really read that. Okay, I can't read what that says. Is that Tanzi or Tanzi or? It's really hard to read it.
What changed?
Oh, yeah.
Bo to what? What's that thing, what's that note on table say?
Something about Bo.
One bug.
A Bo did it?
Yeah, Bo just stepped outside for something, so,
They're talking about your boat.
hey, Bo, do you see this application right here from Daniel,
Townsend or
I guess it
something.
says Tanzi, it's hard to read.
Yes. What,
You tabled it last week.
That was table.
This is the one at table because he's out there in the middle of the sound.
yeah, I don't know.
These coordinates are definitely wrong.
Yeah, I think it's just off coordinates and I didn't. I think I know who it is and I talked to the boy and told him to resubmit some, coordinates.
Uh-huh.
I actually talked to his friend that lives on Burnside. And, Melva, did you get any coordinates? No Alex or anybody came in here? Okay. I think that was a blind because I told the guy that if it was, they were way off. Either that or he's gonna need some deep poles.
Yeah, because he says the northwest side of Roanoke Island, and he's closer to Man's Harbor than he is Roanoke Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not gonna be bothered out there.
Yeah. He's on the news. So how do you want to handle it? He was supposed to resubmit another application, you said?
Yeah, I told him to double check the numbers. If it's the same guy, it's not the Daniel Townsend, but I think it's a friend of his, Alex, Chandler is his name. Didn't know Alex Chandler? Yeah, okay.
The one that works at the bus garage.
Yeah,
He's running. Okay.
yeah, a friend of his is, I think, this Daniel guy. Yeah.
Telling us to keep it on the table?
I think we have to unless we hear something, until we hear something from them.
Is there,
I make a motion, we table it until next meeting. Get better
All
quarter.
right, Timmy makes a motion to table it till the next meeting. Mike seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion's approved. The next application is from Michael Wilson. Where's that at, Mike?
Broad Creek, isn't it?
How close is it?
Ed, he's over 500 yards. I'll make a motion, we accept it.
Okay.
I second.
Timmy, you want to make a motion? Say, to approve it? Timmy makes a motion to approve it. Buddy seconds it. All in favor, say aye. All right, application's approved. Next application is from Michael Wilson again.
rough in there, don't
He's real rough out there, that northwestern
it?
stuff over there.
Isn't it 55104?
I make a motion, we approve it.
Isn't, well, it's just measure, okay. Yeah, that's right. Good.
So-
How far is that from the other blind, Melva?
It's over 500 yards, looks like.
About a mile.
Measure, make sure.
I'm assuming that's off the shoreline there.
I'll second it.
Who made a motion?
I did.
Timmy made a motion to approve it. Who, is there a second?
I said,
Buddy seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Application's approved. Next application is for Devin Cage.
It's a little close.
Uh-oh.
we just approved that, right? Or y'all did last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the application.
Wait, this doesn't look right. Is this Stumpy Point?
It's not Stumpy Point Bay, but it's, yeah, it's down there. It's the next bay down. So I'd say that, I'd like to make a motion that we deny that because it's too close to a blind that was approved last month.
Yeah. So you make a motion, buddy?
Yes.
We hit- Drew seconds it. All in favor, say aye. Application is denied.
And them guys are friends and they kind of hunt together, so sure they'll work that out.
Next application is for Jody Long.
They just measure those, make sure it fits.
Didn't we just,
That one works.
Yeah.
It works.
Mel, can you move that whole screen up? Okay, all right.
See, they got that shoreline covered.
Yeah, I see into that. Yeah.
That's a duck. I want to fly right down the edge of the marsh right there.
Got your measuring stick right
You
there.
want to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve.
All right, Buddy
I'll second.
makes a motion to approve it. Timmy seconds it. All in favor, say aye. Application's approved. All right, next application is for Hunter Garza. Daughters is after these next two. This is for Hunter Garza. He's actually got two applications, yeah.
Nobody close to it, I'll make a motion, we approve it.
You make a motion to approve it, Tammy?
A
Nancy
second.
makes a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Application's approved.
Yes, sir.
All right, the next application is for Hunter Garza again.
Plenty of room. I'll make a motion, we approve.
All right, Timmy, make a motion to approve. Do you hear a second? All right, Johnson gives a second. All in favor, say aye. Application's approved. All right, next application is for Douglas Daltridge.
Got this one at the last meeting. He's now applying for this one.
Okay.
They're plenty far apart. Look like it.
Plenty of room.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Timmy makes a motion to approve it. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Yes, he seconds it. All in favor, say aye. Application's approved. Next application is for James Patsy.
Can we table this last meeting? Can you pull that one up, please? No. And I went out and looked at everything and everything's good. But I just wanted to have it up on the map. This is a blind that wasn't finished last year, kind of abandoned. He's got it in that same area and we're far enough off the shoreline. I think we're probably gonna meet with a little bit of complaints from the people along that shoreline, but it meets our criteria, so I make the motion, we approve it.
Second.
All right. Drew makes a motion to approve it. Phil seconds. All in favor, say aye. Application's approved.
Does he realize the potential heat he might get?
I mean, we're gonna get the heat, probably not him.
I mean, but does he realize that he might be?
I went out and looked at the blind, I hadn't talked to him, so I went out and looked at the blind.
Put bushes on it, hide.
Yeah, no one will see it, the bushes on it.
All right, the next is a letter from Landry Brown on relinquishing his rights to blind 793.
And the question I had on this one last, I want to go down, pan down a little bit so we can see those northern blinds. They weren't at the exact location, but I went outside, there's only one blind out there, and I went and looked at it and everything's in order. Landry wants to give this blind up and, who is it that's applying for this? Isn't there someone that has applied for this blind, Melva?
Yes. It's written and it is. Thomas Jennings.
Right.
Landry wants to transfer.
And I have no problem with that. Can you point to that blind so everyone can see it on the map?
Is this it? There was some confusion with the numbers.
We thought last time they wanted to apply for a blind outside
Right,
of that.
what's the blind to the north and east a little bit, the next right there?
It's Joe's back.
Yeah, and the blind is in the wrong, on our map, it's in the wrong spot. It's actually up to the north and to the west, right? It's up there near where that arrow is. It's up in that area. And I went out there and looked at it and that is where it is.
Yeah.
So I have no problem, but what we need to do is there's still remnants of the blind there. So let's have the person that's receiving this blind give us new coordinates and we will change that on this map, okay?
As long as it's 500 yards from the other blind.
It is now.
From
And
Joe.
it is, yes. And it's outside of Joe Spate and it's in a good, it's in an area far enough away, but we just need to redo those coordinates. And I think he needs to give us coordinates after he builds the blind. I make the motion, we approve the transfer.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Drew makes the motion to approve. Phil seconds it. All in favor, say aye. Transfers approved. All right. Next on the agenda is new business. This the letter I read previously from Sean Murphy. Traditionally, since this commission was started in 1977, blinds have been denied because of haul areas at the discretion of the board. With the map now being online and everything, as you can see, we're getting more applications than ever, and some of them are from not even nowhere near here. So I think it's really important for for transparency and for have everything clear and black and white that we work on getting all haul areas on the map, GPS on the map. That way, it'll prevent problems of future confusion and people questioning things and everything. They'll be able to see right on there. No blinds allowed in this area. It's a haul area. And some of these people that are applying for these blinds away from here, they may not even know what a haul area is. Some don't. So I think we need to work on everywhere in the county to get all haul areas marked out. It's going to take some time to be as accurate as possible, and it's definitely the right thing to do. Also, I'd like to have it stressed on the website that float blinds are allowed to be. You can use float blinds in the haul areas. You just can't put a permanent blind in. So.
I have talked to, Bo Mickens about this, and we're gonna work on it, try to get the ones in our area shown on our map.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll have it done before the next meeting.
Okay. All right.
Is it important to note to Mr. Murphy that the areas that we're protecting for our people of Dare County and Hyde County to make a living and fish are traditional haul areas? And he made a reference to talking to the North Carolina Marine Fisheries people. You know, there are areas that I don't think the marine fisheries areas.
No.
Right. And these aren't something that perhaps John Beardsley would know about from the wildlife or the people from the marine fisheries. And we're doing this for the people of Dare County and Hyde County that make a living fishing in the waters. And we certainly don't want a stake blind in the middle of their fishing area. And like you said, we do allow float blinds in those areas. But we have always traditionally protected those areas for our fishermen.
Yeah. And I see he said he spoke to John Beardsley, which John Beardsley, I talked to John Beardsley himself. He's not here tonight. He's on vacation. But anyway, he couldn't see no reason, but he didn't know.
Correct.
He's not knowledgeable about it. I explained to him. You know, he's relatively new to the area, and he's not knowledgeable about a lot of the stuff. So I explained to him. He then somewhat understood. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't definitely anything against Sean Murphy or any. We're not using it against anybody.
Right.
Like I said, this has been going on since 1977, and at the discretion of the board. But it's definitely in our best interest to get all these areas on the map that'll help prevent future problems. People, who apply and they think, we're doing something hanky panky or something when we're not. So you're going to work on that, Phil and Bud Meekins?
Hopefully be done by the next.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. I mean, depending on how you do it, you can do it with Melvin, the computer. If you do it with GPS, it's a lot of time. Trust me, I'm not even doing my areas down there yet. Yeah.
Even if we don't have exact coordinates to begin with, perhaps we can put an area on the map and just to allow people to know that there's a haul area there, and it would still be up to our discretion until we get those final coordinates in stone.
Yeah.
If that sounds, maybe that would expedite just going to get something on the map to start with, and then we will finalize the location with coordinates when we get it.
And I have been talking with Ms. Melva about that, and we have come up with a couple, and this is one of them areas. See about bringing it up. Can you go to the south just a little bit? Yes. That one in the south is where Mr. Murphy has asked about. And you'll see the one to the north, and this pretty much takes into Oregon Inlet area on haul nets. I know I've talked to Phil, north of the bridge, and there's a little bit, but this is the two areas. And if you want to, we can approve these areas tonight.
Perfect.
I make a motion to approve them two areas.
You make a motion to approve those two areas, Phil?
Mhm.
I second.
Buddy seconds it. All in favor, say aye. All right, those two areas, and like I said, if there's any additional areas that need to be taken care of.
Yeah, we'll get them by next meeting, I hope.
Okay. Like I say, more and more people are, as you see, are applying from out of the area, and a lot of these people, I mean, they don't even know the area. I guess apparently some of them have just looked at the map and, not even know the depth of the water, saying, okay, looks like a good spot right there, because near no blind, not knowing it's 10 feet of water. But, all righty. All right, the next, thing on the agenda is, size restrictions for boat hides and blinds. And I done some measuring today. I went and checked, the very biggest blinds in my area. The longest boat height I found was 28 feet. That was the biggest. I mean,
That's how long the boat ride was?
yeah, I can. I mean, if you had a 24-foot skiff, you've got, you know what I mean?
And Harvey, if we could refer to it as like a footprint instead of a boat hide and a box blind.
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause it
yeah.
really doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
If you just refer to it as a footprint, that would take the confusion out of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The widest blind I found was, 10 feet wide. It's a monster.
I mean, you got a 20-foot boat, you need a 24-foot boat hide.
Yeah,
It's not a 20-foot boat hide for a 20-foot boat.
exactly, that's right,
You need 2 foot in the bow and probably 3 or 4 foot in the stern,
yeah.
and
And
maybe
you,
even more.
you figure some of these guys, I know a couple of them have like 24-foot gallon skiffs.
Mhm.
Some of them using 25-foot southwest.
Yeah,
It could be that, yeah.
so we need to take into account for that as well.
I would say at least 30 feet length.
Why are we restricted? I mean,
There's
why-
limits on
Because-
everything else. I mean, we gotta.
Yeah, I was
be fair.
recommended by Bobby Al.
There's limits on sink boxes, so we gotta have limits on,
Yeah, we should have done it 2 years ago.
yeah.
That one meeting, I remember I tried to get everybody on board and everybody stopped at the previous thing. So it should have been done then. We're talking about it right now.
So let me ask you this, you say you have a boat hide that's 30 by whatever, 10.
Mhm.
Now, how many people build their blinds right on top of their boat hide? How many people build them kind of beside it? I mean, how do you?
Yeah, there's one
how
I
do you
checked
measure
today,
it?
built up to the side of it.
Right, so how?
That's the only one I'm aware of, off the top of my head.
I mean, I know
What do you call it,
the one
30?
in my area is built like
30
that.
by
It's a
30.
boat hide
You got-
for a 24-foot Carolina skiff,
Yeah,
and then it's got the
10 or 12 foot where you-
blind, which is beside it.
Uh-huh.
So I know there's an existing one there.
yeah, there's one down my way, same way.
So,
There's a number of them out on the cap.
I agree with that. Yeah.
so do you do the footprint? I mean, the footprint, I understand the footprint being simpler to understand, but we have a boat hide and then you have a blind kind of connected beside it. Does it mean you can build a 30 by, say, 20-foot blind, or does it need to be separated out by boat hide? I mean, I don't know, I don't know the right answer to this, but what's we gotta make sure we take all that into account.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about that before I was thinking about it before I got here.
Well, there's so many sizes of boats. Why don't we limit it to something if we're gonna come up with a size? I'm just throwing this out here. Your blind can be no larger than 3 foot wider than your boat or a number longer than your boat. That way, if you got a 26-foot boat, you build a bigger box or what? All right. If you got a 15-foot boat, you know what I mean? Instead of limiting it to a size, everybody try to fit the boat to it, let's just try to fit it to everybody's boat.
But if your neighbor goes and buys a 16-footer to your 28-foot hide, he's breaking the law.
Why can't we just limit the size of the box and let them?
That would be easier instead of all these other little complications. Let's say if we just off the top of my, say if we approve a length of 30 feet tonight, that's going to cover any size boat.
Why don't you, what,
I mean, I can't-
what if we word it like this? What if we limit the area of disturbance 30 by 15? That way you can take that in, but you can't go over top of it. I mean, if you can't build a blind 30 by 15, you need a building permit.
Yeah.
So,
I know, but there's some out there right now that have a boat hide and the blind's beside it, and it's more than 5 foot wide. I mean, the blind is probably 5-6 feet, and you got steps going out the front. I mean, that makes it, so that's almost like 8 feet.
Well, the one that was 10 feet wide, the box is built straight on top of it.
Right. But a lot of them are built beside it.
But the one I looked at that was
That's
built to the side of it was actually smaller. It was just slightly bigger than the width of that one.
Right, but
Because the boat height itself was smaller.
right,
in width.
right. But you have a bigger boat, you
Yeah.
still have to be able to build the blind. I don't know, it's tricky.
What are you trying to limit then?
That's what, I like Bo's idea, Bo.
Size of the blind? Is that what you're
Yeah.
trying to get? So forget the boat height?
Why can't we just limit the size of the box and leave the boat height alone? We don't know what they're gonna hunt out of. What if next?
Well,
week-
what I'm
What if
saying-
next year it's in vogue to hunt out of a pontoon boat, and they need a 15-foot wide, slip to get.
Well, they need a
boat.
float blind for that, float blind.
He means just driving it to your
Just
pipe.
drive float the
Yeah,
pontoon.
I like Bo's idea, the 30 by 15 footprint.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some kind of area disturbance, because I mean,
You can't get if you build a 10-foot blind, even if it's only say 6 foot wide, and you got a 25-foot southwester, you can't get it in a 15-foot area. With a 6 foot wide blind there, you can't. She's 10 foot wide.
Yeah, like I say, the one I measured today was actually about 10 foot 2 inches wide.
The boat height or
The
the.
The
inside
boat
or
height
outside?
itself, right where the boat goes in,
Yeah,
and
that's
the
what I
box was
They
on
don't
top
give
of
you
it.
no- They don't give you no bouncing room with a big boat in there.
Trust me, if you see the size, he's got plenty of balance room.
The boat is 10
this is
foot,
all-
10 foot wide.
This is all brought about by limiting the size of the curtain boxes, and I understand that.
yes.
Yeah.
But with a curtain box, we're not accounting for a boat to be attached to it. So perhaps we need to think more towards the size of the box and leave the boat height alone. And I can understand limiting the size of the box easier than trying to limit the size of the boat height. Very liberal dimensions on a box, and let's let the boat height speak for itself, because no one's gonna go in there and build a 25 by 25 boat height.
No.
And as soon as we set limitations on it, we're gonna meet with all kinds of opposition. I feel it coming.
I like that. One that makes the phone ring less.
We start with the box first, and if we find ourselves having to go to the
What-
dimensions of the boat
What
height,
size would you recommend?
what size boxes were you seeing? And there
Um,
are large,
The one box
I mean, I can't
on
imagine.
top of on top of the 10 foot wide boat height, believe it or not, the box itself was 11 feet.
I can't imagine anyone needing more than 10 by 12 or something. I mean, that's the size of a small bedroom, so
It's not, that one's not a real serious hunting blind. It's more of a,
I can't imagine anyone needing
But,
a box bigger than 10 by 12. That's very liberal, and leave the boat height alone for now.
the other one, the house was 9 feet wide.
90?
9.
Oh. The box.
Yeah, that was the two biggest boxes. It was 9 feet wide.
what are we trying to accomplish? You're saying you want to make a law because of another circumstance, but what are we trying to accomplish? I mean, what are we here for as the board what are we here to regulate? To me, it's safety. So what are we
But it
trying
was
to
rec- it was-
accomplish?
It was
recommended by the county
It
attorney.
was
to
recommended,
come up with
we're trying to
dimensions.
close all loopholes and get everything tight as we can.
Yeah, but what loophole are we trying to close?
Because when we done the sink box, curtains thing, so he asked why, he had a legitimate question, it was legitimate.
Well,
Because that was the size that they all built.
Foot, you can't
What
hold
did
it
you say,
down.
Bob?
That was the size that we determined, that was the size that everybody built.
Man, you can't put anything bigger, you can't really hold it, it doesn't stay down, so, I mean.
So that determined that, just that had nothing to do with this.
I know it doesn't, but we need to, well, it was recommended that we do both.
That's why I say we come up with very little dimensions and,
Pass it, and that's it.
I don't know that anyone's gonna complain about a 10 by 12
No.
box thrown out of and leave the skip height alone, because we don't know what kind of boat they're gonna be on that. And we shouldn't receive any opposition with a 10 by 12 box, and if anyone needs to build one bigger than that, the bigger they build it, it's gonna be harder to hide. I think that's.
Now, is it 12 by 12 or 10 by 12? Is that the square footage?
That's just dimensions of the.
If you multiply those two, you will get the square footage.
Yeah.
I know that, I mean, but is that what can it be, is that what we're looking for, a square foot, maximum square footage?
Now we're talking about dimensions,
Moving lots
just
of-
basic dimensions, not square footage, so to speak.
What does it matter if it's on top of the boat hide and it's not taking up any more square footage than the boat hide?
I think we need to do an area of disturbance. It's a lot easier to put on paper.
And have that being right liberal and not worry about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, you start talking about boxes, well, we shoot out of one spot, then we cook out of another. What's the kitchen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's
It just
where
gets
I'm
really-
headed, then
It gets really funky. So if we do a area of disturbance at 30 by 18, 30 by 30, 30 by 15, pick one.
Yeah, I mean, I think what he's saying is probably the cleanest,
That's what I agree with. I agree with what he's saying.
but it needs to be big enough to really say, okay, no one's gonna cry.
No.
about it. So.
You want to make a motion, Bob?
Yeah, we gotta come up
Well,
with.
yeah, let's come up with a number. I mean,
Yeah.
30 feet, obviously, for the boat,
30 foot length.
makes sense.
You got a lot of them using them 25-foot boats. That's the boat. How about if you got one of them sea drives, I think they call the back, that's another 4 feet. I know a boy who's got one of them. And that's gonna take a 30-foot boat high.
That's what he's proposing.
Now, the 30 foot, is that, I mean, obviously, 30 feet, is that inside or outside dimensions? I mean, you're talking about outside dimensions. We need to make sure we.
Yeah, the length.
So
It's not complicated, just
If we're
like he
gonna
said.
make something big
Here we
enough to
go.
be a hotel, then what's the purpose of making it? I mean, 30 by, you're talking about 30, and make a box 120 square foot. I mean, that's going to accomplish, I'm assuming, your kitchen facilities, your wait staff and all that. Why are we, I don't even understand what's the problem. I mean, I'm kind of lost on this.
I think we're just trying to button up all the loose ends. They might be dumb loose ends, but something could fall out of them. And that's where Bobby, Mr. Alton's
Yeah.
coming in and advising us to, we got size limitations on one thing, we need to have them for another.
I think Bo's proposal's pretty good.
Here we go.
I'm done.
Take
sorry.
everybody's opinion here, how big
Here we
should
go,
the line
ready?
be?
And I made a lot of stupid votes in this room and some stupid motions, but this might be the stupidest one ever, but we'll make it. I move that we make a area of disturbance, LOD, limit of disturbance line for a stationary duck line in Dare County to be no more than 36 by 24. That's a spitball for you. That's the motion.
That should cover just about anything you would need.
Then we can go home tonight.
I second it.
Second.
All right, Mike
Third.
Johnson makes the
Can I get
motion.
a
Who
fourth?
seconds it?
Timmy. I'll do it.
Timmy seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
36.
Now
but-
y'all have all been involved in one of the stupidest motions. Since everybody-
I mean, we can always.
Things have
amend it.
Yeah, we
changed.
can. We go ahead.
We can always amend.
Yeah,
it.
but wait,
That's right.
now that we, let me just say this, now that we've done that, we've limited the size of sink boxes and all that, we're gonna put that on the pamphlet next year, because that, I mean, that's something relatively new.
Well, the original rules were done past 2 years ago.
You better put
What?
or smaller
We
on
passed them
there,
in
too.
November 2 years ago.
What?
The other size were,
The
rules.
sink box,
No, and we also passed the minimum size requirements for state blinds, boat hides and stuff like that 2 years ago. We passed the minimum for all that.
we need to put this new stuff that we just passed. Does this supersede all the old stuff?
There was none.
And there was nothing. That's what we're doing. We're adding that onto it. Now you've
Do
got a
have it
complete,
smaller.
Now we
Bottom
got the
and-
size limit on all blinds, right? Or
Yeah.
all areas of blinds.
yes, area to serve.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we should put that on that pamphlet for
Absolutely.
next year.
Absolutely.
And I was gonna bring this up, and I'll just go ahead and bring it up, and throw it in with it. I'm sure most of y'all probably saw that on Facebook about the gentleman that didn't get a float blind, didn't get his application in. Anybody see it?
Uh-uh.
Anyway, it was on there, and a lot of people tagged in on it about how crooked the board was, and the normal stuff.
Yeah.
Because we drew the float blind the second meeting, which we normally do when we have float blinds.
Yeah.
But evidently, this guy didn't think there was anything out there that said exactly when we were going to draw, so there was a big, I'm surprised nobody saw it, because it was all over Facebook for 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, I'm not on Facebook.
But anyway, he didn't get his application. Our deadline for applications is November 1st. It wasn't clarified that.
With the
that's
float
gonna
blinds, yeah, I
also
remember when that happened. I didn't see it on Facebook, but I knew about it.
Yeah, it was on Facebook, and
Yeah.
there were way buku comments and
Yeah.
agreements, and you know how that goes. But that's the kind of stuff, whatever it may be, that we need to put in our pamphlets and put on our webpage, because that's way confusing.
That actually was on the website, was it not, Melva? It was on there. That was the problem.
Maybe only
He
place-
he didn't look at it right or something. He just jumped the gun on it, so to speak. That was on the website.
But it wasn't
And
on
it-
the application, I think Buddy
Yes,
says.
I believe
With the-
it. I think I had a,
But anyway,
Copy of it, I
that's
think it
the
was.
stuff that we need to put on the webpage and the pamphlet and all that, because every year, like right now, we just made this rule. We need to make sure that that's out there
Mhm.
before we start getting applications next year, so that there is none of this, how the board's doing shady things, because that's far from the truth, as
Exactly.
everybody knows. But, or as most everybody knows.
Yeah.
But it just, the more
See-
information we can get out there, it's like what we just done, the better off we're gonna be as a board.
but the problem with people like that is people, instead of really trying to find out what's really going on by contacting Melva or me or somebody else on the board, is some people like to cause drama. They just go jump on social media and spread a bunch of misinformation. That's been going on this board since 1977, before social media. It was by phone call. And this board has been,
Yeah, but now that we do
Lied about
have
many times.
social media and
Yeah.
have all these ways to get information out, we should get it out before
exactly.
next
Like the
year.
hall areas.
Just like the
Just
whole.
like
Yeah, so the whole area, that's why I'm stressing. That's why we need to get that on there. It's more
And this-
transparent, it's clear, and it also stress on there that float blinds are allowed to be used in hall areas. Just no permanent structures.
Yes,
That needs to be on the website.
This bigger blind too, is gonna have the same, I don't know if you wanna call it restrictions, as the smaller blind will, you got to have a floor in it.
Yeah. We'll have to ask Kyle about that. Kyle, does that have floor in it?
What else
And
for your
I'm
boat?
kidding.
For your boat too?
And the four walls, so it won't be full of radio stations,
Yeah.
weather meters, and all that.
Now, do we need to change I guess the minimums will be no big deal, right? You know, do we even need minimums for those?
We've already passed them.
I mean, I know, I mean, Okay.
That was all passed, everything.
Right, I knew that. But is this a company, I mean, do we need to have the minimums at all if you have a maximum? Just leave them in there, don't worry about it.
Yeah, we've already passed, it. Yeah, nothing changes. So now you got a range, you see what I'm saying? From as small to as big as you can, now everything's clear. All right, any further discussion on that? All right, the old business, the Roanoke Island Sanctuary boundaries, John couldn't be here again, he's on vacation, but he did say there's a possibility that the Wildlife Resources Commission may waive them boundaries. There's been discussion about it.
Say that again, Mark.
He told me that,
Melvin, can you pull up the area?
The boundaries that were put in place years ago.
yeah, the boundaries
may be-
put in place years
may be
ago, they
pulled
were
down.
supposedly marked with buoys.
Right, maybe pulled down, so.
Do you see that? Well, that's where the buoys are supposed to be.
I'll be honest, I think they set new buoys out.
Yeah, he said that
They set, the blue line right there is, I forgot the true name of the area, but they set new white buoys, no waterfowl hunting.
okay. Anyway, he'll discuss it with us at the next meeting. There's been discussion about possibly letting that go. So he'll find more and get back with us on it, whether they're gonna leave it or what they're gonna do with it, so.
And that red line that was on there, what was that?
I don't think that's any good.
That's the first one there. We never adopted the blue when they just put it there.
They just put it there.
State put it out,
Somebody did.
yeah. Okay, any further discussion by the board or anything? Anybody got any board members comments? Yeah,
I think we have to table. it
yeah,
so we can have
basically
John
is. He's not here, so we can't address it.
Your motion to table.
You wanna make a motion, Drew?
Make a motion to table until John Beardsley can be here.
I said,
So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any commissioners have any comments on anything? Any discussion on anything? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Mike makes a motion. Val, you want a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.